Hey, it's Josh here, and on this one I'm going to be messing around with the Seadoo XP DI, and it is a 951 with the dreaded direct injection system installed on it. And basically today on this video I'm going to get it out. I thought I had it fixed last year when I had it out in the shop. I get it out this year, and well, wouldn't you know it, it has a little bit of trouble. So I go into fixing it up a little bit, then get it out again and do some top speed runs and make sure everything is spot on and okay-ish before it's a big head-to-head against the Wave Blaster 2. If you guys don't remember, I got this Seadoo XP DI in kind of a trade deal for my 2012 RXPX Seadoo. I traded that for the XP DI, a GP1200, and some cash to cover the difference in value there. So I basically just did that because I needed cash to get some engines going, and that cash is what really made the GPR SHO project happen. So that's why I did that. I don't necessarily want this XP DI, so I'm kind of trying to get it fixed up. I want to do all the testing on it as well though, but I wanted to get it fixed up so that I can get it sold. I was last testing this for running properly, but it was a super wavy day. It seemed correct. I'm going to try it again now, and hopefully it will be working properly. All right, screen check time. So far, so good. To my surprise, this thing fired right up. I just threw a battery in it, hit the starter button, boom, fired right up. To my happiness and surprise. What a turd. That's really annoying. I'm going to go ahead and pull the direct injection system off this XP DI so I can get a really good look and see if I can see if it's clogged up or if there's anything wrong with it. Here I have the direct injection system off of the Seadoo XP DI 951. This is the direct injection system, and it has 2 lines coming in there and 2 lines coming out there. So, not that that's important, but it actually has these, which are the things that pop down into the cylinders, which is kind of like a direct, like, that handles the compression on the injector part. And then it looks like it actually has separate fuel injectors. So this was back before the technology was there to just put a direct fuel injector in. They have the fuel injectors separate from like the compression handling direct injection deals. I looked these little guys up, and they're actually called air injectors on like the parts list for buying them. Technically though, they are the part that is between the fuel and the combustion chamber, so that's why I'm calling them a direct injector. But whatever, for parts list they are called an air injector. Obviously trying to fix that Seadoo XP DI, it's not quite right. It seems like it's starved for fuel, so I wanted to go through this, clean it out, clean all the injectors and these, whatever we want to call them. I did notice that there is this sort of filmy white stuff kind of built up in one of the lines there. So obviously that's not something we want in our fuel injectors. But I just kind of want to show you guys this, just in case this is what fixes it. I mean, it obviously is possible that this is what's wrong with it. I'm going to just break this all down, just kind of inspect everything, and try to figure out a way that I can clean the injectors, and especially these guys here, because you can see they're all carboned up. So that could definitely be hindering a good fuel flow through them. Just going to pop this plate off the top, and so I can really access the fuel injectors. And these are going to be the gosh, why can't I think of it right now? The pressure, gosh, I can't think of it. It's one of those things, I know what it is, but I'm not thinking of what it is, the exact what it's called. They're like the pressure something or others. Get that out of our way. I'm assuming these will just pop out. Well, they probably used to when they were new. They've been in there for a while. Watch me break these things. I doubt that they thread in there. There we go. I don't see anything, impeding the pinhole for the injector, but obviously we're going to want to see about use 12 volts to open these and spray fluid through there freely. Obviously an ultrasonic cleaner would probably be a pretty good way to go on these, but I don't have one of those. So we got more of that milky stuff on this particular thing. I'm sorry I can't think of the name of these right now. It's like the fuel pressure regulator. That is what I believe these are. So they're actually, if I'm not mistaken, what's allowing the fuel to return the tank, because this is a return style fuel injection system. But there we go. We've got a lot of that's just nasty milky stuff here. Not really sure what's causing that, so if you guys know, definitely let me know so that I can get that figured out. Certainly that's not good for our fuel injection system here, so fingers crossed, knock on wood, hopefully when I get this all cleaned up, it will really help this thing run the way it's supposed to. There we go. I'm going to get this all cleaned up, and hopefully that will really help this thing work properly. This system here is very unusually complicated. Seadoo always goes with more complicated. It has one line in for fuel, one line out for fuel, but there are two more lines in and out. One of them is actually coming from an air pump into the fuel rail, and also the other line out goes to, it is airline, but it goes to what they're calling like a silencer. So they literally have a useless line going out, and it literally goes to the back of the ski to some sort of silencer thing to keep the noise levels down. It just baffles the mind. That could just be plugged and just call it a day, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's just a weird, complicated system. All right, I'm putting this Seadoo back together. I got the direct injection put back on. I did myself a humongous favor. There was a speaker here. I went ahead and removed it, and this speaker container was full of water. There's still one on the other side, but I'm gonna leave it because, as you can see, it's kind of keeping that hole closed. I have ran this just on the hose, and it runs pretty good. Sometimes it's not as snappy as I want. So I've got these taken apart. I want to call them rave valves. Maybe that's what they were called on the older ones, or I don't know. I used to be way into Seadoo back in the day, and that's kind of what my mind remembers, but maybe they're called something different now. Anyways, this one slides nice and free, but this guy here seems a little bit bound up, so I'm wondering if that could really help some of our throttle response if I can take this one off and clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to attempt to do that before we go run this out on the water. Here is the one that I was saying was kind of sticky. I've kind of wiped it off. It was pretty nasty. I went ahead and took the other one out just for a comparison, and that's what it looked like before I kind of wiped it down. They're just kind of grungy, and this one kind of, I was able to just work this one. Now it's like nice and free and easy. I just got to make sure it's still that way when I pop it back in. But I'm going to finish wiping these down, pop them back in, and make sure it still moves well. I just wanted to add that I'm going to scrape the carbon off of these as well. There's a buildup of carbon right here, and I'm going to go ahead and scrape that off just with a screwdriver. I just want to say this before I forget, but I found that the oil line, the oil injection setup, you can see down here, it's not tightened down. So there's like it's like a throttle cable for the oil injection, and it's all totally loose. So I'm gonna tighten that down. Okay, hoping for a bit of a miracle here today, guys. Got the Seadoo XP. You saw I did a bit of work on it, hoping that she's gonna run out nice. Obviously, I haven't had much success with this particular ski in the past. There's that one day after I cleaned the filters and the fuel pump last year, and it was wavy, so I couldn't really tell, but it seemed to run right at that point. Taking it out one time this year wasn't quite right. Did a bunch more work on it, and we're hoping that it runs good today. Okay, we are running. Really hoping for a good showing today.
seems okay, like medium okay. I'm gonna try to run some more of the fuel out. This is ancient fuel, so that when I put some fuel in, it'll be all fresh. I'm just hoping that it doesn't decide to act up once I put some fuel in it. I could see it doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 gallons of shut up juice. Alright guys, gonna GPS this thing out here in the chop. We'll see if we can go find some smooth water as well at some point. Perfect phone holder there. Should be able to just pop that open and see it. Yeah, got some fuel in her, or as I say, I gave it a nice big bottle of shut up, which is what Caleb calls gas. Gas is a bottle of shut up juice for when your jet ski is chirping at you. I need fuel, I need fuel. I'm in pretty shallow, so I'm gonna idle out a little ways here. Let's GPS this bad boy. I'm expecting in the 50s somewhere. It's a bit windy out. Oh man, this thing's extra splashy. Whoa. I can't do that right now. It's going right in there. Alright, let's try that again. 48.9. Now I've got to get the water out of there so it doesn't go on my phone. Yeah, it's an iPhone 7, so it should be waterproof, but that thing is like ripped open. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I gotta dump the water out of this.
I was able to hit 48 miles per hour here on a little bit of a choppy day. I do want to get it out and test it and see how it would do in some smooth water. I'm just going out to do some GPS on this because it's much smoother today. So I'm just going to run a quick GPS on smooth just to see how it does. Alright guys, I've been warming this up for a little bit. It's funny, I warm everything up. I just don't usually show it on camera. It said maintenance required. That's it.
Okay. We're going for top speed here and see what you can do. That's just a little speed check there. I think my phone might have turned off because of where I had the strap placed. Perfect. We're going to have to redo that speed run. I'm all reset. Got my phone strapped in, not on the power button. Let's give it another shot. Alright, I got a fun idea. I brought a screwdriver along so I could adjust the power valves. We ran in at 51.1 there. Oh, I gotta get my screwdriver. This is kind of neat. I can adjust my power valves from the seat. Oh man, neat design. I just gotta not drop my phone. I'm gonna crank them all the way down because yesterday we were running them cranked all the way down and it seemed to be a bit more consistent. All right, let's run that. Get the screwdriver in there. I doubt that'll change the top speed, and then we'll run them all the way out and see. It's gonna be kind of a fun little back-to-back-to-back test. Still 51.1. I should probably reset. Okay, we're reset to 0.
running at 0.5, so 50.5 mile per hour. Now, I'll loosen the valves all the way. I can't do this on a choppy day. The other day I opened the hood on choppy and it like flooded my ski. Just loosen them all the way up. I wonder if they have a stop where they just pop out. Nope, they just pop out, yeah. Let's run it flat with the top of the valve. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta reset the counters back to 0. There we go. See if that's any different. So honestly, not much difference top speed wise between any of the modes there. So I'm going to crank them all the way back down because that's how this thing runs the most consistent as far as throttle response and whatnot. So I'm just going to let them crank down. I think this thing should probably run into the high 50s at least. So clearly we're not quite right impeller or engine wise. It does start right up fine. You know, it does okay, but obviously it could be better. Boom! Perfect beach job. Oh, and the camera's still rolling. The XP-DI is running reasonably well. Probably not perfect. There is a few other things I really want to do just to make sure it's running perfect. But right now I think it is the perfect spot to run against the Wave Blaster 2. So we'll call this a slightly detuned XP-DI. Because I believe it should run faster than the 50 to 51 miles per hour that it does. But anyways, the way it is, it sets up a really great matchup between this XP-DI and the Wave Blaster 2, and that will be coming to you in the next video, and that's going to be a really great video. Guys.